What's going on, everyone? Joshua here, and welcome to another video. I know it has been a few months since putting out my last video here on YouTube, but I promise you more is to come, and that's exactly why I wanted to put the camera up, get in front of it, and just start talking. So for those of you who are new to this channel, welcome. Like I said, my name is Joshua. I'm an animal liberation activist from Seattle, Washington, and right now I am on the Changemakers Tour, my year-long tour of activism, partnering up with Anonymous for the Voiceless to do as many actions as possible and as many skill-based training workshops in the next 52 weeks. So 1 year going to 52 cities plus probably more throughout here and there. You get the point. Another tour of activism. I've been taking the last 2 months off to rest and recharge to make sure I'm ready to get back to work. Last year was another 14 months of traveling around the world doing the Compassion Tour. So I know a lot of tours and a lot of activism, but welcome if you are new to the channel. Make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the content to come. I am so excited to finally be back in front of the camera. The goal of these videos here, what I want to do is at the end of each week, I want to make a little journal, diary, place for me to vent, to share my experiences from each stop on the Changemakers Tour. So that's what this is. Stop number 1, Calgary, Canada. Wow, it feels incredible to finally be back into my bubble in the vegan activist movement with all of you. It's incredible. Like I said, the last 2 months has been nice spending time with family and friends, but getting back out there, doing the work that I love to do, taking a stand and being out there for the animals is really what fills me up. I was a little nervous getting back into it at the airport, LAX, got my 2 bags with me, and I'm like, all right, here we go again. Another year of travel, but I was looking forward to it. So I flew into Calgary, Canada. I had never been to Calgary before. I'd already connected with the Anonymous for the Voiceless organizers there. I had a host. They were amazing. Alex, Ryan, much love to you. And it was just getting things going right away. I flew in and had a day to myself, so I relaxed. I chilled out. I got the lay of the land. It was snowing. I think it was minus 15 degrees the first day I got there, so a little shock coming from Southern California and the heat and the fires at the time. But the next day was the first workshop. In each city, I'm going to be doing my next level activism workshop, where I talk a little bit about some of the lessons that I learned from traveling on last year's tour that I think is going to add some new perspective and insight to activists who are at this workshop. Also talk about my 5 strategies for effective vegan outreach, speaking with non-vegans, sharing a little bit about Anonymous for the Voiceless and the Cube of Truth, plus talking a little bit about the motivation and inspiration for the weekend. So started off Friday night. I think we had 28 people come to that in Calgary. It was a massive turnout. It felt so good to be back out there speaking to people like you and just sharing my experience, and hopefully that I can motivate and inspire you to do more with your advocacy. Next day was the Cube of Truth. It had been 2.5 months since doing a Cube of Truth, so it was cold. I was bundled up. We were all bundled up, but we hit the streets and we had Calgary's largest turnout of activists. I was so happy to see so many people in the community come together to take a stand and be a voice for the animals. We were out there for 4 hours. Typically their demonstrations are 3 hours, and we were set up right by one of the malls, and people were stopping left and right. And if they weren't stopping, they were still looking at the footage. I had some amazing conversations. One conversation really stood out. I posted something about it on Instagram if you wanted to read more about that story. But I spoke with these 2 girls, probably like 13 years old, 12 years old, somewhere around there. And they were so moved. They were so shocked by the footage that they were seeing, the truth that they were seeing. They were in tears. They wanted to know how they could stop what was going on the screen. And it always fills my heart with so much sadness, but also with so much love and positivity, knowing that people do have the compassion within. They understand that all beings deserve love, freedom, justice, and respect. And I spoke with them for a while and talked to them about veganism, and that's something that they totally wanted to do because they didn't want to see any animal dying. It really hit them in their hearts, and I think that they left truly taking veganism seriously. So that was a really powerful moment for me at that Cube, and it was just so nice to see all of these conversations happening left and right. And that's one of the reasons why I really love being out there doing a Cube of Truth. It was just a powerful moment. So if you've never participated in a Cube of Truth with Anonymous for the Voiceless, I'll leave the link in the description so you can find a chapter nearest you. They are in over, I think, 800 cities now around the world, which is amazing. In just 2.5 years, we are growing so rapidly, and it's just a beautiful way to find your voice and to get out there and fight for the animals. So that was the Cube. After the Cube, and this is the first time I'm sort of speaking this out loud, so thank you for just listening to my journal, my diary, me venting. After the Cube, we went to this restaurant. Why am I forgetting the name of this restaurant? I should probably know the name of this restaurant, but much love to you. It was right next to a butcher shop. Oh, Heart's Choice Cafe, I believe that's what it's called. Right next to a butcher shop. So it was crazy to see the right-hand doors be a butcher shop, a place where they kill and dismember animals. And then the next place was a vegan restaurant. But it's also this beautiful thing as well that we can see that these places do exist and they're not afraid to go up right next to the industries that we're actively trying to prevent from continuing to exist. So we had a great meal. I think there were 15 of us that came together, and I had what'd I have? A seitan Reuben French dip sandwich. Beautiful. If you're ever in Calgary, go check it out. I think they have 5 vegan restaurants in this town that's surrounded by animal agriculture. I mean, it's wild to see. They told me this stat, which was pretty crazy, that in Alberta, the province of Canada, there are 4 million people. There are 3 million cows. That number blew my mind. So for such a rural area to be surrounded by so much animal agriculture, to have 5 vegan restaurants, it shows me that we are moving positively forward in this movement, and it's just great. So go out and support your local vegan restaurants, everyone, even if you're in a very small town. All right. That was Saturday. So then on Sunday, we had one of my favorite talks, which is sustainable activism, where I talk about some tips, tricks, and techniques that we can do as individuals, as activists, to work on sustaining our activism long term. We put ourselves on the front lines. We see a lot of pain. We see a lot of injustice. We feel their suffering. And at times, that takes a big toll in our headspace. So from experience, personal experience dealing with burnout and compassion fatigue, I like to share what I learned with everyone who is present so that hopefully they don't have to ever experience burnout or what I experienced last year doing activism. I want people to focus on listening to their mind, body, and soul. And we had a really nice turnout there. We had about 17 activists come, and it was just a beautiful talk. Basically shared a lot of stories, shared a lot of advice so that people are aware that compassion fatigue, burnout, vicarious trauma, these things are real, and we need to listen to what our body is saying. You need to focus on self-care, self-love, taking breaks, and empowering other activists to be out there fighting when you need time for yourself. We are in this together. We are part of a big team, and I think if I can speak with every activist and share that information with people, I think we will see a better future, and we will get to our end goal of total animal liberation a lot quicker. Sunday. I loved that day. It was just a beautiful talk, so I'm really happy that people gathered there in Calgary for sustainable activism. Then after Sunday was Monday, the day that comes after Sunday. It was a rest day for me. I got to catch up on a lot of work. I got to edit photos and videos from the previous events. But in the evening, we drove to Lethbridge. I should probably know these cities. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but Lethbridge, one of those. And where we met up with some other friends, and I got to meet some new people there, which was amazing. Great group of people out there. There were tons of animals at this house, so I had a blast seeing all the dogs and the chickens and the guinea pigs, and had a great meal, some ramen prepared by Nixie. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. But it was incredible meeting everyone there in Lethbridge, and we got into some great activism there. Next day, we went to a vigil with the Calgary Cow Save, who drove about an hour and a half out of Calgary to be there at Bovary Exports, which is a horse and specialty meat slaughterhouse. This was a pretty shocking experience for myself. I'd never been to a horse slaughterhouse, and most people were sending me messages like, horse slaughterhouse? People eat horses? Well, yes. Calgary, or outside of Calgary in Feedlot Alley, has one of, I think, or if not the largest horse slaughterhouse in Canada. In Calgary and Edmonton, I believe they slaughter horses, but it doesn't just happen in, well, it doesn't just happen in Canada. Horses are bred in the United States and driven up to Canada to be slaughtered there and then live exported to Japan. So it's this crazy world. And so we were standing outside of this slaughterhouse, and it was a pretty wild experience because if you saw my Instagram story at the time, tried to stand in the street, peace sign in the air, 2-minute sign up to get one of the truck drivers to stop so we can bear witness. But one of the truck drivers had zero regard for human life and drove straight through us. Obviously, we jumped out of the way, but it got caught on video. So I'm going to be making a post about that just to advocate for better safety within the activist movement, especially when out at vigils, something so important that I want to talk about. But we also went around the property to the feedlots there, the large areas where they're breeding and raising animals, fattening them up so that they can slaughter them. And I took my camera and got some really good images of the horses there, but we also went into the next sort of feedlot and found out that there were buffaloes there. So this place kills a wide variety of animals, but horses and buffaloes were there on that day. And I just want people to understand that this is happening all around the world, whether it's a cow, a pig, a fish, a chicken, a buffalo, or shrimp, or crabs, or lobsters, or cats, or dogs. They're all animals. They're all living, breathing, sentient beings that deserve compassion, love, justice, respect, freedom, and equality. So let's end this speciesist mindset and understand that all life is deserving of this freedom, justice, respect, equality. You get it. No animal deserves to be bred into existence, enslaved, tortured, and killed. But I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, but if I'm not and you're watching this, go vegan. So that was a pretty powerful day, but it wasn't just over yet. After the vigil, had a great group of activists out there that I wanted to mention, that people drove an hour and a half, 2 hours from Calgary out there to stand on the side of the road and to hold up signs and to shine a light on this industry, especially this one place, Bovary exports. So much love to everyone who came out to that vigil with the Calgary Cow Save. But after that, as we were driving back home, we had spotted a factory farm, what looked like a factory farm off the side of the roads. We thought it was for birds. So we drove in there. There was a big for sale sign on the farm. So we just drove in, and it was just really eerie. There were no cars. Doors were wide open, and we quickly realized that it was a free-range pig farm, and we saw a dead pig that was laying out in the open, and that sort of shocked us to investigate a little bit more. So we drove up right to one of the open doors, and there was no one in there. We started yelling and hollering, trying to see if anyone was in there to make sure it was safe. No one was. So we walked right in there, and we got some great footage, did a live stream on Facebook, and took some awesome photos, hopefully so that we can share their story with the world. That's one of the main reasons why we document and we get this footage, is so we can take what we see inside of these hellholes, inside of these facilities, and share them with the world so that their story can go on, because these 6-month-old babies are going to be driven to slaughter in the next month or so, and we don't want their story to end there. So if you haven't checked that out, it's on my Facebook. I'll be making some videos about it as well shortly, and I have a post that I made about it on Instagram, so check that out. So it was a pretty crazy Monday. No, that was Tuesday. I don't know if I have my days right. This is all natural, all authentic me, forgetting my days. But that was Tuesday. Then we drove a very long way back home to Calgary, stopped by the animal sanctuary there. Oh, I forgot to talk about the animal sanctuary. I forgot what day that was, but the Alice Sanctuary in Calgary, probably the coolest sanctuary that I've been to so far. I had a great connection there. I can't believe I almost forgot this. Sorry, Janine, if you're watching this, but I'm talking about it now. The Alice Sanctuary, went there on a really snowy day, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had. I got to spend time with the turkeys, with the goats, with the chickens, with the pigs, and connected with horses, which I never have in my entire life. So if you are in Calgary, Canada, please go to the Alice Sanctuary. It's a beautiful place. Anywhere you are in the world, if you need some self-care and self-love, support your local sanctuary and get out there and spend some time with the animals. We see a lot of animal agriculture on the negative side, but let's start to focus on the positive side. The animals that have been liberated, the animals that are free and living a life filled with love, kindness, and happiness. It's a beautiful place, the Alice Sanctuary. Much love. So yeah, backtracking now, Tuesday night, we went back to the Alice Sanctuary just to say goodbye and to see some of the other animals there before I was heading out, because Wednesday was my day I was leaving. Wednesday is the day I was leaving. I'm getting used to speaking in front of the camera again. Bear with me. So Wednesday, chilled out in the morning. I did a smart thing and didn't book my flight until 2:40. So I chilled out, got a lot of work done, edited some more photos and videos, and then caught an Uber to Calgary Airport, which is one of the easiest airports to go through security. So if you ever want that, go to Calgary, Canada. So much going on. And hopped on a plane, and now I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada, getting ready for an epic week of events starting tonight with my Next Level Activism workshop. But I just wanted to send my love and say thank you and just tell you how much I appreciate all of you over there in Calgary. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. Keep doing the amazing work that you're doing. I really appreciate all of your love, support, and hospitality. Alex, Ryan, appreciate you letting me stay there. Nixie as well, loved staying at your house. And yeah, that's this video. That was Calgary. That was stop number 1 on the Change Makers Tour. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these every single week, because I'm not sure if you do, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you ever have questions, send them my way on Instagram, Facebook. Leave them in the comments as well. But I just wanted to say again, thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing and following me along on this journey. Big things planned for the next year. 1 city down, 51 more to go. So I am jazzed. And yeah, you're all awesome. So thank you again for watching. Much love from Vancouver. Peace.